I think since Friday, I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
And with that, it would appear Aaron Rodgers is saying goodbye to Green Bay. He's still under contract with the Packers, but he's ready to wear a different shade of green.
Love, so much love and gratitude, and just heart open for the Packer fans and what it meant to be their quarterback.
Looking back at his legendary career, fans say the multiple MVP winner will be remembered fondly for bringing a title back to Titletown.
I just kind of broke the news to you just now, but
I know, I want a box of tissues. This is horrible.
Aaron Rodgers and his intention to play for the New York Jets tops this extended edition of Action 2 News at 6.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us. It does seem the wait is over when it comes to Aaron Rodgers' next move.
In an interview earlier today, the four-time MVP quarterback made it clear he plans to play for the New York Jets when the first ball is snapped next season. In our team coverage, we have crews standing by after hearing from fans on the latest news and how the move will impact some of the nonprofits in our area that work with Rodgers.
But first, Chris Ralph takes us through what we heard from Rodgers and his first public comments about his future. Chris.
All right, Cammie and Bill, Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay is over. It's just not official yet. Rodgers saying on the Pat McAfee show today that after the season, the Packers told him to take his time with his decision and that they would welcome him back if he wanted to play. But he felt something change when he came out of his darkness retreat. He was hearing he was being shopped around by the Packers. Now, before that retreat, he said he was about 90% sure that he would retire. After he met with the Jets when he came out, and after thinking about it, he decided that is where he wanted to play. Now he and everybody else is waiting while the two teams hammer out a deal.
Love that organization and always going to have love for that organization. But the facts are right now, they want to move on.
Oh my God, it's right there. See it.
And now so do I. You know, look, nobody wants to be the bad guy in a situation, and honestly, there isn't at this point a bad guy in a situation. As long as everything gets resolved the right way, they want to move on, and now I want to play, and they're ready to move on with Jordan. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Jordan's going to be a great player. You got a aging, face of the franchise for the last 15 years that it's time to do right by.
All right, so the long courtship of Rodgers should soon be at an end. And it's hard to believe that the compensation talks are still ongoing, considering the Jets and Packers began talking trade at the Super Bowl. That, according to SNY Jets reporter Connor Orr. But this isn't ending. That much was made clear today on the McAfee show. And that means the Packers portion of his Hall of Fame career is over after a remarkable, in many ways, 18 seasons.
It seems like we've fallen into paradise, and it's a great situation for me. I'm going to make sure those 23 teams who didn't pick me, make sure they know they made a mistake.
It would take 3 years of serving an apprenticeship under future Hall of Famer Brett Favre for Rodgers to start making good on that promise. But boy, it did not take long after that. In 2008, he became just the second quarterback in NFL history to throw for 4,000 or more yards in their first year of starting a game. He started all 16. The next year, Rodgers led the league in touchdowns to interception ratio 30-7, and in his first playoff appearance, he threw for a franchise record 423 yards in an OT loss to the Cardinals. And in just his third year as a starter, he led the Packers to the promised land. 3 playoff ratings over 110 and that Super Bowl MVP. Statistically, 2011 was even better. 45 touchdowns, only 6 picks, and he sets the single-season passer rating mark of 122.5 en route to his first MVP award. Rodgers led the NFL in passer rating again the next year, then came back from his first broken collarbone in the 2013 season finale to beat Chicago and clinch a 3rd straight division title. 2014 was the year of RELAX and the second MVP award. The careful and precise Rodgers becoming the first in NFL history to throw just 5 or fewer picks with over 500 pass attempts. But playoff disappointments continued despite statistically good seasons and remarkable individual throws. 2015, the year of the Hail Marys. 2016, running the table with those 8 straight wins, the 8th, thanks to that job. But another broken collarbone came in 2017, followed by a broken relationship with Mike McCarthy, leading to the coach's premature exit in 2018. Team president Mark Murphy picked Matt LaFleur in 2019, in large part to help Rodgers. And while the two reached the NFC title game in year 1 together, it's years 2 and 3 that were off the charts. Rodgers with a franchise record 48 touchdown passes in 2020, becoming the first in NFL history to lead the league in touchdowns, passer rating, completion, and interception percentage. That was more than good enough for a third MVP award. And in 2021, Rodgers becomes the franchise leader, 449 career touchdowns, setting the record with Davante Adams for most prolific duo in team history with 68 connections and a second straight MVP award. After an offseason of uncertainty, Rodgers signs a massive contract extension to return in 2022 and presumably beyond. But it turns into one of the worst statistical seasons of his long career, playing at times with thumb and rib injuries, and without his connection with Adams, Rodgers had his lowest passer rating, his fewest touchdowns per game, and his 12 picks were the most since his first year as a starter, when he had 13. The Packers finishing with a losing record for just the third time in the 14 years he started all or the majority of games.
Don't want to, lose your last game and miss out on playoffs, but this is a great profession and a really tough business, and doesn't always end with rainbows for everybody.
All that's missing from his Green Bay resume to prove those 23 teams made a mistake in 2005, a second Vince Lombardi trophy.
I miss the guys. I miss the fans. Yeah. Thank you.
Continue our team coverage tonight with Emily Bayer, who talked with fans today at Lambeau Field. Emily, how are they feeling today?
Yeah, hey, Bill, it's been a range of emotions here today. Many fans telling me that they knew this day would come. Players either retire or they move on, and it's looking like for Aaron Rodgers that he is also ready to move on. I spoke with several fans out shopping today at the Packers Pro Shop. No Rodgers apparel seemed to be on clearance quite yet. Fans sharing a mixed bag of emotions as they prepare for the end of a football era. Some fans sharing that simply the show must go on.
So tell me, how do you feel? Again, I just kind of broke the news to you just now, but
I know. I want a box of tissues. This is horrible.
I actually am surprised that he kind of stayed as long as he did.
I think, his time's coming to an end, and I'm excited for Jordan Love. He showed some flashes during the Eagles game, and him and Christian Watson have that connection, so I'm really excited to see that connection. It's unfortunate. We had two really great quarterbacks back-to-back in Brett Favre and Rodgers, but I'm excited for what Jordan Love has.
I'm ready to see him go. There's always somebody you can pick up. 49ers picked up Mr. Irrelevant last year. He did all right.
Time to give the young kids a chance.
Yeah.
There's always a replacement, and hopefully Jordan Love can take over. And the first year might not be great, but then Rodgers' first year wasn't great either, was it?
Rodgers' impact in Green Bay, enormous, on the field and in the locker room. Adriana Torres joins us with more on that. Adriana?
Yeah, Chris, and several of those Jets players campaigning on social media for Rodgers to come to New York. Guys want to play with a four-time MVP. Now, he's made an impact across the entire sport of football. Rodgers has said, though, mainly in his recent reflecting years, that this game is about relationships, about guys you rely on, even if they don't show up in the stat book. And that could go both ways.
18 years. Aaron Rodgers reaching adulthood in the NFL. 18 seasons in this league means he's dealt with a whole lot of different kind of people and at different times in his life. From shadowing Brett Favre to working through growing pains to becoming a leader and then to mentoring other young players. No doubt a future Hall of Famer that has touched so many in this football world, including his teammates.
The entire time I've been with 12, Aaron, it's been awesome. I've learned a lot from him over the time and got nothing but respect. One of the best, if not, in my opinion, he's the best, but I know other people have their things, but, one of the best to ever do it. And, it's really been an honor to kind of go to battle with him, work with him, and, have him coach me up out there. So.
I'm extremely thankful to be able to have learned from him, grown with him. I think that he pushed me to be a better player, a better man each and every day. Going forward, I'm just thankful that I've got to learn and play with such an extraordinary athlete.
And the relationships obviously go even deeper with guys who have been teammates with Rodgers longer, like Aaron Jones, who will never forget his early days with 12.
Well, he's meant a lot. I owe A-Rod a lot. Just pretty much, I don't know how my career would have been if it wasn't for him lobbying for me to play and early, when I was under McCarthy, he'd come to the sideline. I won 33 in the game. I won 33 in the game. call a timeout, and like 33. And so just those things when I wasn't getting playing time, and him believing in me did a lot for my confidence and did a lot for me, you know.
We have to start with the Jets official Twitter page. Sums up the day pretty well here. Everyone's eyes on the Pat McAfee show this afternoon, waiting to hear from Rodgers himself, and then this classic meme of Leonardo DiCaprio sporting a new shade of green with that New York Jets hat. If everything works out between the Packers and Jets, here's what a potential new teammate, offensive lineman MakeaWish Becton tweeted, a meme clapping ferociously with some heart eye emojis. Another potential new protector of Rodgers tweeted just one word. Here it comes. Hallelujah. I guess it just says it all for him. Meanwhile, longtime protector and friend David Bakhtiari posted this meme this afternoon, a crying one, on repeat for Aaron Rodgers. There have been a few tweets on the Packers Twitter page as the new league year started a few hours ago, but none of them address Aaron Rodgers today.
Cammie, Rodgers has contributed to numerous organizations over the past 18 years. Make-A-Wish Wisconsin says he's helped with over 100 wishes. Chris Tiapolo, the organization's senior regional manager, says it had a tremendous impact on children with critical illnesses to be able to meet their idol. Through Make-A-Wish, kids wishing to meet the Packers are put up in a hotel, taken to Lambeau Field in a limo, and then get to go behind the scenes and meet all the players. Rodgers would then greet the kids on the sidelines, have lunches with them, and take photos.
The Green Bay Packers are just so phenomenal in so many ways in making a big difference for Make-A-Wish and for the kids. So I assume, and I know that kids will continue to wish to meet the Green Bay Packers and their favorite players for years to come.
Almost run the table 2.0 with a broken thumb, rib injury, and more. No, he didn't have the numbers and didn't finish the job this time, but it was still wildly entertaining.
Aaron Rodgers will become the Packers' fourth quarterback in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, joining Ernie Herber, Bart Starr, and Brett Favre. Here's how the Super Bowl trio resumes stack up. Starr has the most Super Bowl victories and MVPs. Favre has the most All-Pro nods. Rodgers has the most league MVPs and touchdown passes and the highest rating.
Number 5, speaking of Randall Cobb against the Bears, the 75-yarder to start the Packers' 100th season of football, completing a comeback from down 20-0 on Rodgers' injured knee that had knocked him out in the first half. Number 4, you want more Rodgers, more Cobb, and more Bears tears? 4th and 8 for all the marbles to make the playoffs in 2013. Both the QB and receiver returning from injured reserve that week and connecting for the dramatic score to make the postseason. Number 3, the divisional playoff at Dallas. He got the ball back with only 35 seconds to go. A little too much time, as Rodgers said afterwards, as he drew up this beauty to Jared Cook to set up Mason Crosby for the game winner as time expired. Number 2, Mr. Hail Mary. 3 in the span of just 14 months. Before the half in the playoffs against New York, in the divisional playoff at Arizona to force overtime. The only thing more beautiful than the pirouette, Jeff Janis skying high. But the best of them all, no doubt the rafter rocker in Detroit that traveled 70 yards down the field, yet also almost hit the ceiling. Richard Rodgers camping underneath it. Tough to beat that. But we will with the number 1 moment of Aaron Rodgers' career, the Super Bowl laser show. It may have been 12 years ago now, but we will never forget the needles threaded to Greg Jennings to earn Rodgers' only championship. The first, a touchdown to beat both Ike Taylor and Troy Polamalu. The second, a 3rd down conversion to add more points, run down the clock, and help seal the deal as the Packers were champions of Super Bowl 45. There were so many other moments that could have made that list. You get the gist. Rodgers' play was just different.
Did we miss any?
He was a surgeon.
Oh, we missed a ton, but there you go.
All right, Chris, thank you much.
Final weather check.
Yeah, quickly looking at some isolated rain showers later on tonight, but a soaking rain arrives tomorrow a little late.